How does a nation survive when its entire world is taken away? It's a huge question. Today, we're diving into the powerful story of the Onion Lake Cree Nation, a journey from the very brink of collapse on the Canadian plains to a future they are building completely on their own terms.
So let's start where it all begins, with the nation's name in the Nihiwak. You know, this isn't just a place name on a map, it's a deep connection to a history and a culture that really anchors this whole story we're about to explore.
But before we go back in time, let's get a picture of Onion Lake today. It is a dynamic, modern community just buzzing with energy. You can see it everywhere, in the stories they're sharing on the 7th Gen podcast, in youth cooking workshops, in packed basketball tournaments, and of course, in the vibrant celebrations of culture, powwows, and community clubs. This is a place that's all about connection and growth.
So how did they get here? Well, to really understand the strength of this community today, we have to go back, way back, to the 1870s, to a crossroads on the plains that would change absolutely everything.
For thousands of years, the lives of the Plains Cree revolved around one animal, the bison. It was everything. I mean, it was their economy, their food, their clothing, their shelter. It was the very foundation of a free and self-sufficient way of life. And then, it felt like it happened overnight. They were gone. Decades of overhunting for the booming fur trade had completely wiped out the herds. And you have to understand, this wasn't just some economic downturn, it was a total catastrophe. It sparked a famine across the whole region that brought the Plains Cree to a devastating breaking point. And right into the middle of this crisis steps a pivotal leader, Mistai, also known as Big Bear. He was a deeply respected chief who saw with chilling clarity what was really at stake. He knew that signing a treaty with the Canadian government could mean the end of his people's freedom, their freedom to roam, their entire way of life.
This quote, it just captures his position perfectly. Big Bear wasn't interested in what he saw as little gifts or baits. He demanded a real nation-to-nation talk, based on mutual respect. He was deeply, deeply skeptical of what the government was really after, and he refused to be rushed into a decision that he knew would change his people's future forever.
And this really sets the stage for the massive conflict at the heart of the treaty process. You had a negotiation where the two sides were coming from completely different worlds, with vastly different ideas of what a promise even meant.
Okay, let's break this down, because this is the absolute core of the misunderstanding. For the Crown, Treaty 6 was basically a legal contract. It was a land deal, designed to open up the West for settlement. But for the Cree, it was something else entirely. It was a sacred covenant, a living, breathing relationship meant to guarantee their survival and their well-being for all time. And that's why, for the Cree, the most important part of the treaty wasn't the piece of paper. It was the sacred pipe ceremony. This ceremony made every spoken promise binding. It meant that you could only speak the truth. It signified that this agreement was made in good faith and that it would be honored for as long as the sun shines and the rivers flow, forever. You see, that sacred promise wasn't just some historical moment. The fight to have the treaty honored as it was understood by the Cree, well, that fight continues to this very day. It has forged a legacy of resilience that's been passed down through generations.
And you can see this fight happening right now with the Beaver Lake Cree Nation, who are also members of Treaty 6. They've launched this landmark legal case. They're not just challenging one single project, but the cumulative impact of all the industrial development on their lands.
So what does that cumulative impact actually look like? Well, get ready for this. It looks like over 35,000 oil and gas sites on their traditional lands.
It looks like more than 21,000 kilometers of seismic lines. These are corridors that are cut right through the forest, breaking up the very ecosystem that the treaty promised to protect.
And it looks like over 4,000 kilometers of pipelines. When you add all of that up, this massive industrial footprint threatens to make the treaty's promise of a continued way of life completely impossible to fulfill.
So, this complex history of negotiation, of broken promises, and of this ongoing fight for rights, it brings us right back to Onion Lake and the incredible future they are forging from this very legacy.
Here's Chief Big Bear trading at Fort Pitt in 1884. He was faced with the starvation of his people, and ultimately he was forced to sign the treaty. But his fight for his people's sovereignty, for their future, that never ended. It was really just beginning.
And his legacy is so alive today in this really powerful way. I want you to just imagine women in the community wearing these beautiful, traditional, brightly colored ribbon skirts, but pairing them with modern business blazers and intricate beaded medallions. It's the perfect symbol of a nation that deeply honors its history while confidently building its future.
Today, Onion Lake truly embodies that goal of self-sufficiency. The nation operates its own schools and health programs, it's fostering thriving businesses, it has strong governance, and it is deeply committed to preserving its language and culture for a vibrant, growing population.
You know, this story of resilience and success, it doesn't just end here in a history lesson. It actually culminates in a warm and open invitation.
The journey from the plains of the 1880s to the thriving community of today is just a profound story of strength, healing, and hope. It's a testament to an enduring spirit, and it's an invitation to the entire world to listen and to learn.
But this story doesn't end with us. It's a living history, being written every single day by the Onion Lake Cree Nation. So to learn more and to hear the story directly from them, you are invited to visit their website.